Every gardener knows the deep satisfaction of creating their own compost. We gather our kitchen scraps, our fallen leaves, and our grass clippings with the best of intentions. We layer them carefully, turning the heap with a strong fork, feeling connected to the ancient cycle of decay and renewal. It is a truly wonderful process, one that promises rich, dark, crumbly gold for our soil. But if we are being truly honest with ourselves, we must also admit that this process is incredibly slow. The waiting can feel like an eternity, especially when you have young plants in the ground, hungry for the nutrients that are still locked away in your slowly decomposing pile. While we wait, our gardens can often show signs of impatience. Young seedlings might look a little yellow, their growth seeming to stall for weeks on end. Vegetables may struggle to produce the bountiful harvest we dream of, their fruits small or their leaves lacking that vibrant, healthy green hue. This is because the soil they are planted in may be lacking the immediate, available food they need to thrive. We look at our compost heap, still a lumpy collection of identifiable scraps, and we know that the solution is there, but it is simply not ready. It is a frustrating part of the gardening calendar, a period where our ambitions outpace nature's steady, unhurried rhythm. The problem lies in the very nature of composting itself. It is a biological process, driven by an army of tiny organisms, bacteria, fungi, worms, and insects. These creatures need time to do their work. They must break down tough materials like woody stems and fibrous peels, slowly transforming them into the simpler compounds that plants can absorb through their roots. This decomposition requires the right balance of moisture, air, and temperature. If the pile is too dry, the process stalls. If it is too wet, it becomes a smelly, anaerobic mess. Getting it just right is an art, and even when we do, it can take many months, sometimes even a full year. This long wait is a challenge that gardeners have faced for centuries. We see our plants in need of a boost now, not 6 months from now. We want to give them the best possible start in life, to build strong roots and healthy foliage right from the beginning. It is this very dilemma that led gardeners of the past to seek out faster, more direct ways to feed their soil and, in turn, their plants. They understood that the soil was a living entity, and they looked for ways to awaken it quickly, without the long, drawn-out process of waiting for a compost heap to mature. They needed a solution that worked in days, not seasons. Long before the advent of brightly colored bags of chemical fertilizers, gardeners had their own tricks for invigorating the soil. They were masters of observation, deeply in tune with the land they cultivated. They knew that healthy soil was teeming with invisible life, and they found clever ways to encourage it. One of the most effective methods, widely used in the 1800s, was a simple, fast-acting liquid feed. This wasn't compost, nor was it a harsh chemical. It was a specially formulated tea, designed to wake up the beneficial microbes already present in the ground. It was a way of feeding the soil, not just the plant. This forgotten technique was not banned by any law, but rather pushed aside by the march of industrial progress. When synthetic fertilizers became cheap and readily available in the early 20th century, these older, more natural methods were deemed old-fashioned and unnecessary. Why would you bother brewing a simple mixture at home when you could buy a powerful, fast-acting powder from a store? The promise of modern chemistry was alluring, and the focus shifted from nurturing the soil's ecosystem to simply delivering a direct dose of nutrients to the plant. In this rush towards convenience, a wealth of practical, sustainable wisdom was unfortunately left behind. The core principle of this 1800s method is wonderfully simple. You create a perfect meal to energize the soil's microbial population. Just like us, these microscopic organisms need food to thrive and multiply. Their preferred diet consists of simple sugars for energy and a source of protein. When you provide this, their population explodes. This sudden boom in microbial activity has a profound effect on the soil. The microbes begin to break down organic matter that is already in the soil, unlocking nutrients that were previously unavailable to your plants. It is like turning on a light switch in a dark room, instantly making everything visible and accessible. This is the key difference between this method and traditional composting. Composting is about creating new organic matter, a process that takes a great deal of time. This soil-activating drench, on the other hand, works with the organic matter you already have. It supercharges the existing soil ecosystem, putting it to work immediately. The result is a rapid release of nutrients that plants can use right away. This is why gardeners in the past saw such remarkable results in just a matter of days. They were not adding new food. They were unlocking the feast that was already hidden in their garden beds. Bringing this wonderfully effective 1800s method into your modern garden is remarkably easy. You do not need any special equipment, and the ingredients are simple, safe, and likely already in your kitchen pantry. The goal is to create a brew that provides a quick burst of energy, sugar, and a source of nitrogen, protein, for your soil's microbial life. The most traditional and effective recipe uses molasses, which is a fantastic source of simple sugars and minerals, and milk, which provides the necessary proteins and amino acids. These two humble ingredients are all you need to start this powerful biological process in your own garden. To make your first batch, you will need a clean watering can or a large bucket. For a standard 10-liter watering can, the recipe is straightforward. Start by adding about 1 tablespoon of unsulfured blackstrap molasses. It is important to use unsulfured molasses, as sulfur can inhibit microbial growth. Then, add approximately 250 milliliters or about 1 cup of whole milk. Do not worry about using fancy organic milk. Any standard milk from the shop will do the job perfectly. The fats and proteins are what the microbes are after, and they are not particularly fussy about the source. Once you have the molasses and milk in your watering can, the next step is to fill it with water. It is best to use lukewarm water if you can, as this helps the thick molasses dissolve more easily. Rainwater from a butt is ideal, but tap water is perfectly fine to use as well. As you fill the can, the force of the water will help to mix the ingredients together thoroughly. Give it a final stir with a stick or a long-handled spoon to ensure that the molasses is completely dissolved and the mixture is consistent. You should be left with a cloudy, light brown liquid that is ready to be applied to your garden. The application is just as simple as the mixing. Use this freshly made solution to water the base of your plants. Drench the soil thoroughly around the root zone, where the microbial activity will be most beneficial. This method is safe for all types of plants, from young vegetables and flowering annuals to established shrubs and fruit trees. The key is to apply it directly to the soil, as you are feeding the billions of microscopic workers that live there. They will then get to work, breaking down nutrients and making them available for your plants to absorb through their roots, starting a chain reaction of health and vitality. The reason this simple mixture produces such rapid and visible results lies in the fascinating world of soil microbiology. Your garden soil is not just dirt, it is a complex living ecosystem, home to billions of bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and other microscopic organisms. These microbes are the true engines of a healthy garden. They perform the vital task of decomposition, breaking down complex organic materials into simple, water-soluble nutrients that plant roots can absorb. Without a healthy and active microbial population, nutrients remain locked away in the soil, inaccessible to your plants, no matter how much organic matter is present. When you apply the molasses and milk solution, you are providing an immediate and irresistible feast for these microbes. The simple sugars in the molasses are a high-energy food source, causing a rapid spike in the bacterial population. Think of it as giving them a shot of espresso. The proteins in the milk provide nitrogen, an essential building block for them to multiply and build their bodies. This combination creates a population boom. Within hours, the number of beneficial bacteria in the soil can increase exponentially, and this army of newly energized workers immediately gets down to business, transforming your soil's potential. This explosion of microbial life triggers a cascade of benefits. As the bacteria and fungi feast and multiply, they release enzymes that dissolve minerals and break down existing organic matter in the soil. This process, known as mineralization, is what makes nutrients available to plants. The microbes effectively digest the soil for the plants, converting complex compounds into a ready-to-eat meal. This is why you see such a quick response. Your plants are suddenly able to access a banquet of nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and trace minerals that were there all along but were previously unavailable to them. Furthermore, this enhanced microbial activity dramatically improves soil structure. Many beneficial bacteria and fungi produce sticky substances that bind tiny soil particles together into larger aggregates. This process creates small air pockets and channels within the soil. The result is a lighter, crumblier soil texture that allows for better water infiltration, improved drainage, and deeper root penetration. Your plants respond almost instantly, with their roots able to grow more freely and access water and nutrients more efficiently. This is why plants treated with this method often appear healthier, stronger, and more resilient in just a few days. A tale of progress and profit. The decline of this simple, effective soil treatment was not due to a lack of results. Gardeners and farmers of the 19th century swore by its effectiveness. Instead, its disappearance from common practice was a casualty of the industrial and chemical revolutions of the 20th century. After the Second World War, chemical companies that had been producing nitrogen for explosives pivoted their production towards agriculture. They began marketing synthetic fertilizers, such as ammonium nitrate, which offered a powerful and immediate dose of nutrients in a convenient granular form. It was a compelling proposition for a world focused on modernity and efficiency. These new chemical fertilizers were heavily promoted with massive advertising campaigns. They were presented as the scientific, modern solution to boosting crop yields. In contrast, traditional methods like creating microbial teas were portrayed as old-fashioned, labor-intensive, and less reliable. The narrative was one of progress, leaving the old ways behind. It was far more profitable for a large company to sell a gardener a branded bag of chemical granules every year than to teach them how to use a tablespoon of molasses and a cup of milk from their own pantry. The economics simply did not favor the simple, home-brewed solution. Furthermore, the scientific understanding of the time was focused on pure chemistry rather than soil biology. The NPK, or nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium model of plant nutrition became dominant. The thinking was that if you simply provided these three primary macronutrients directly to the plant, the soil was little more than a medium to hold the roots. This view completely overlooked the vital role of the soil-food web. The complex symbiotic relationship between plants and microbes was not yet fully appreciated. As a result, methods that focused on feeding the soil's biology were seen as unscientific and were pushed to the margins of agricultural and horticultural practice. So, this banned trick was never officially outlawed. It was simply outmarketed and overshadowed by a new, more profitable paradigm. The knowledge was not lost entirely. It was preserved by organic growers and gardeners who held on to the wisdom of nurturing the soil as a living system. They understood that the long-term health of the garden depended on the health of its soil, not just on a temporary chemical fix. The story of this method's decline is a powerful reminder of how economic forces and shifting scientific focus can cause valuable, sustainable practices to be forgotten, even when they work remarkably well. Today, modern science is finally catching up with the wisdom of those 1800s gardeners. Countless studies in soil ecology now confirm the critical importance of a thriving microbial community for plant health, nutrient uptake, and disease resistance. We now understand that the relationship between plants and soil microbes is a beautiful symbiosis. Plants release sugars through their roots to attract and feed microbes, and in return, the microbes unlock minerals and protect the plant from pathogens. The molasses and milk drench simply accelerates and enhances this natural process, giving our gardens a powerful biological boost. For the best results, timing and frequency are important. This soil activator is most effective when plants are in a phase of active growth. Apply the first dose in the spring, just as your seedlings are getting established, or when your perennials are waking from their winter slumber. This gives them a fantastic start to the season. You can then reapply the solution every 3 to 4 weeks throughout the growing season. It is particularly beneficial during stressful periods, such as after transplanting, during a dry spell, or when plants are heavily flowering or fruiting and require extra energy. A word of caution, though gentle, is prudent. While this method is incredibly safe, moderation is key. Over-application could lead to an overly rich environment that might not be ideal for all plants, particularly those that thrive in lean soil, like many herbs. The recommended dose of 1 tablespoon of molasses and 1 cup of milk per 10 liters of water is a well-tested and balanced formula. Stick to the every 3 to 4 week schedule, as this allows the microbial population to stabilize between feedings. Always water the soil, not the foliage, to ensure the mixture gets right to where it is needed most. I wholeheartedly encourage you to try this simple, historic method in your own garden. It is more than just a trick for faster growth. It is a way of reconnecting with a more holistic and sustainable approach to gardening. By feeding the life in your soil, you are building long-term fertility and resilience from the ground up. You are moving away from being a mere consumer of products and becoming a true cultivator of a living ecosystem. You will see the difference in the health of your plants, the crumbly texture of your soil, and the overall vitality of your garden. It is a small step back in time that can lead to a giant leap forward for the health of your plot.